Hey up guys, welcome to an Idiot Mods Skyrim part 15, time to start horsing about. With a title like that, you've probably guessed the kind of mods we're going to be downloading today, and there are only two of them, and we can only pick one of them. So let's go on to the Nexus and make a start. The first mod for today is Immersive Horses by 7 Cards. Now this one came out just after I'd started my playthrough, and I must admit I have been looking for an excuse to try it out for quite a while. I will not read any more than this is a shoeing on these two paragraphs. I'll let you read them to yourself. I don't want to be the cause of you smashing your monitor. Way too many horse puns. But I will go down to the introduction where it says Immersive Horses is a lightweight horse overhaul for Skyrim which aims to improve on nearly every aspect of horses while remaining as true as possible to the original game. An integrated follower system designed specifically for horses is included, along with a range of new horse commands and related options. There is information on acquiring horses, and any horses that you steal in game, you now have the option of owning them, but you have to go through several points. You cannot wait, fast travel or access any extended horse options while mounted on a stolen horse. You must dismount a stolen horse in an entirely different location from where you stole it to gain temporary ownership. You can make a temporary horse persist by adopting it after gaining the temporary ownership. After adopting a horse, the current location it is standing will be the new horse's home, and any persistent horses that you acquire are automatically added to your herd and you can manage them from anywhere. And speaking of managing them, there is an MCM menu for this one, so we can set up all of the options like how we ride it, whether they want it to follow me, how to talk to NPCs, etc. in the MCM menu. That's probably best demoed actually in game. There is an option to replace the saddles for your horses, but you will need a mod such as craftable horse barding. We'll look into that if we decide to stick with Immersive Horses. The mod authors have split the horses that have different colours or markings into different horse breeds and been given different strengths and weaknesses. They have tried to keep them balanced, guys. The horse breeds are black fell ponies, grey dapple fell ponies, Halfinger horse, Exmoor ponies and fjord horses. And there is one of each type found at the Whiterun Rift and Markarth Windhelm and Solitude stables. The unique horses have also been tweaked, but I'm going to skip past that in case you haven't already encountered them in game and don't want to read them during this video. Horses' abilities have been increased. They have added certain things like if you jump or land on an enemy, you can cause a kick which may cause damage, and you can also trample people by galloping past. There is a big warning with that one. If you go charging past a guard, you may end up with a bounty. And your horse's aggression rating can be set from the MCM menu as well. Horse speed has been massively increased over the vanilla game. We now have options when it comes to dismount. We don't just have to get off our horse the normal way. We can fast, exit, left, right or over the back. Mounting spell casting is also allowed. It's the follower mod compatibility where we may fall into a problem. As we're also looking at Convinient Horses today, that mod does allow you to have horses for your followers actually in the mod. If you want your followers to have horses with this mod, you'll have to install another mod that allows your followers to ride. And the three options that they recommend are extensible follower framework, follower life package or simple follower mount. But there is also a compatibility patch for amazing follower tweaks. Now, as I don't know if I'm going to be replacing Convenient Horses in my load order at this moment, I don't want to be downloading a mod that I may not need. Add to the fact that I know from personal experience that Serana gets her own horse anyway, Selene has access to her own horse, and I believe Inigo has horse riding built into his mod anyway, and those are my three followers in my playthrough. I may not need a secondary mod anyway. Installation is recommended via a mod manager, so mod organizer or Nexus mod manager, and we will require the latest version of Skyrim. Well, we're using Steam so we should be fine there. The latest version of Script Extender and the latest version of SkyUI. If you've been following my series, you should have all that installed. The mod authors do highly recommend that we use Mod Organizer, which we are. We have USleep installed, which we did a couple of episodes ago. That we use TS5 Edit to help clean and merge mods, and we'll be doing that in a future episode. But they do also recommend that we have Skyrim style memory editor. This has been defunct by the fact that we have the memory block fix in the SKSE INI. This was just the oldest way of doing it and is now no longer recommended. Known issues and conflicts, well, the main one is that Immersive Horses does not work well with other horse overhauls like Convinient Horses. That was taken for granted, really. There are a couple of fixes that are available in mods down below. FAQs, nothing we need to worry about at this moment, and as I said, here are the recommended mods to do some of the fixes and some improvements to the mod in general. I think that's all we need from here. Let's go along to files and get this one downloaded. And we want the main file, Immersive Horses, or #FeelTheBurn, which is version 2.0 at the time of this video. Download with Manager. Yes, I have SkyUI and SKSE. And we have also got an optional file, Immersive Horses 2K Horse Textures. What I didn't mention is that we do get a 1K texture replacer for the horses in Immersive Horses anyway, and this is just an option to increase the resolution of those textures. As we don't know if we're going to be sticking with Immersive Horses, we don't have to bother with this one for the time being, although Critic Kitty's 2K Horse Textures is actually a mod in its own right and will work with Convenient Horses. Right, so we're done here, and mod number 2 for today is Convenient Horses by Alec. I've noticed that they're still on version 5.0, which is the same version I'm using in my playthrough, so I don't have to worry about updating it. Although if you are coming from an older version or want to uninstall this mod, please note that before uninstalling the mod, please disable it via the console. So you open the console, type in stopquest.ch and press return. Otherwise, scripts may be left in your save, and those may cause some problems in future. There is also a warning that it is your responsibility to not leave your horses in Solstein, the Solkane, Blackreach or near Fort Dawnguard, as horses cannot pass through zoning points by themselves. So if you're in any of these areas and you want to go to the main map in Skyrim, make sure your horse is with you at the time. Convenient Horses has grown a bit since the first time I used it. We now have horse herding and a unique horse called the Blaze of Eventide. On the list of features, it does have very similar features to Immersive Horses, and we're probably best looking at them in game anyway. Under installation, we just have to make sure we have properly removed any previous versions. Well, we don't have to worry about that, as I'm not updating, it's the same version. They do recommend that you have SKSE, but then state that you do not have to have SKSE for this mod. I would state at this point, if you do have SKSE and the SkyUI, this mod should be easier to configure as it has got an MCM menu. If you don't use both SKSE and the SkyUI, you are limited to using magic spells that you'll find in your magic inventory. I just think that the menus are slightly easier to navigate. This mod does allow you to use a joypad if you so wish, and it has a multi-tap feature so you can use the same button to do many things. Or you could do what I did. I hybridized that. I played the game mainly with the joypad, but when it came to doing certain things with the horses, I had my keyboard nearby and could access it and tell my horse to wait, whatever, from my keyboard, and it worked out quite nicely for me that way. As with Immersive Horses, this mod does work with follower mods if you wish it, and you can have up to 15 followers with horses. They also recommend extensible follower framework, ultimate follower overhaul or amazing follower tweaks in that order to work with this mod, so any of those three should work fine. But please note that as Bethesda didn't expect non-player characters to actively use horses, they made a mistake that when in combat the camera will do a large 90-degree turn every time a follower mounts a horse or draws or sheathes a weapon. There is a fix that SKSE enables, and you do it by using the horse follow toggle key. It should reset the camera. There is mounted combat for followers, and horse equipment is available in game without a separate mod. As with Immersive Horses, we can do combat horse charge. Horse call is managed in a very similar way to Immersive Horses. We have a whistle, although until you learn whistle you can use a horn as well in Convenient Horses. Both these mods seem to have mounted conversation and corpse looting, fastest mounting. They both have horse inventories. Unique to Convenient Horses is a hot air balloon kit that you can use. If you suddenly become over encumbered, you can make a hot air balloon and it allows you to carry 10,000 more for 5 minutes. And as with Immersive Horses, they are set up to be passive unless otherwise instructed via the MCM menu. I think we're done in here. If you do have any problems, there is an extensive troubleshooting section here, including a script latency test that's built into the mod. Other than that, I think we're done. Let's get this one downloaded as well. So into files, and we want the main file. This has been up since December 2013, so I'm guessing it's fairly stable. And as with Immersive Horses, we have some options. There is Convinient Horses Faster Sprint. Now, as this was released before this mod got updated, I think there is now an MCM menu that takes care of this, so we shouldn't have to download this one. Convinient Horses, there is a unique look for frost. If you like this, you can download it. I don't think it's really me. There is also alternative skin textures, and as I said, there is the ones that make the horses look the same as they do in Immersive Horses as well. I'll try and put a link down below. There is a fix for armour clipping, so if your horse has armour on and the mane is clipping through it, you can make the mane transparent. This does apply to all horses though, so either all horses will have manes and ones with armour will have clipping, or no horses will have manes and you won't have any clipping. And there's also an AFT compatibility fix here, and we don't need that either. So let's go on to Mod Organizer and get these installed. Go along to Downloads. We'll start off with Immersive Horses, double click, and we have an installer. This will install Immersive Horses for Skyrim on your system. Requirements are the latest version of SKSE and the latest versions of SkyUI. We have those, we can click Next. Now, do we want the 1K compressed meshes and textures for horses from Critter Kitty's Realistic Primitive Horse Breeds? There is the 2K version back on the mod site as well. Or do we want the vanilla horses that keeps all the vanilla meshes and textures for the horses? Well, it'd be nice to see a difference. I'll just leave Realistic Primitive Horse textures selected and click Next. Do we want a soft whistle or do we want a high pitch whistle? Now, a soft whistle is more how you instruct someone in the same room as you. If you want to get a horse from a distance, you need a high pitch whistle, don't you really? So I will select high pitch whistle and Next. Do I want a patch for hearth fires? Well, I don't have any hearth fire homes built yet, but if I do, I want them to be compatible and be able to be stabled there, so yes. And now we just finish the installation. And then we're going to do the same for Convenient Horses. We can have both of them in the list as long as they're not both enabled at the same time. So double click, manual, no installer this time, just looks good, click OK, and that's done. Now, as I have been comfortable with Convenient Horses, we'll do that one first. So enable it, check the plugins, we should be okay with it being there. Let's go in game and have a look at our horses. Right, so we're in game, down by Riften. Convenient Horses is just updating its faction relations. That means with all the factions in game, including the wildlife as well, by default it's friendly, so they will not get attacked, nor will they attack any animal or man in this game, without direct provocation by yourself. We're waiting for the MCM menu to kick in, so in the meantime, let's go ahead and equip Inigo with a horse, and see about how we have our horses come to us, because there is two unique ways of doing it with Convenient Horses. So we need to talk to this guy here, or anyone who runs a stable.
Walk, eh? Well, you found the right place.
Whatever you say.
Got horses that need shoeing, so make it quick.
So the first way of calling your horse, and the one that I would recommend you use in game as soon as you learn it, is the whistle. So we use the whistle, whistle, or a whistle at absolutely everybody for a while.
Huh?
I know how to whistle, it's just my mouth was dry.
You expect me to believe that?
No. You will end up doing this to all of your teammates, several vendors, and maybe even the odd Jarl, until you actually learn this skill. Now I've shown you this, I will actually disable it in the MCM menu, but just so you know how that works. The other way of calling your horse is to buy a horn.
Of course.
And I want a Nordic one, please.
Thank
It doesn't matter which
Here,
one you choose.
This is for you.
They both do the same thing. Thank you. Right, so we now have a way of calling our horses without the whistle. And we have a horse to give to Inigo here. I just bought this horse a couple of minutes ago. Inigo.
I am here for you.
I need you to do something.
What would you have me do?
I want you to ride this horse. Well, obviously that's not the right option.
Let us move on.
Okay, let's reactivate you.
Mr. Dragonfly says he would rather travel with me. It is not personal. He and I go way back.
Next time we talk, I'll do that, okay? But for the time being, do you mind if I ask you something?
I am all ears.
Ah, here it is. I want to give you a horse, Inigo.
Really?
Yes. Take my Riften horse. He's yours.
That delightful dappled horse with a song in his heart and fire in his belly?
Yes.
What a gift. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going, while I'm here,
What are we trading?
I'm going to give you Mr. Dragonfly. There you go.
My very own steed.
Indeed.
Wow.
Right, so let's have a look. Have we got our MCM menu yet? We haven't yet. So while we're waiting, I'll go for a ride. This does mean, Ilya, that you're going to be walking for a while, okay? So I ride Shadowmere, Inigo gets on his horse, and we can go for a walk. I'll just wait till we pass this guard, and then I will try the gallop. And it is the default speed that you get with the vanilla game as well. And now we have the MCM menu. I'll do that in a few minutes. Just don't really want to be doing it when we've got a bear hanging around. And that's it. We are out of stamina, so can no longer gallop. Didn't get very far, did we? I think what I'm going to do is I'll go into the MCM menu. I did take a note of how much faster the immersive horses are than the default ones, and how much more stamina they have. Right, so I've come out to Shorestone, just outside Riften. I'm going to set up my MCM menu now. I'm going to make some tweaks so that hopefully Convenient Horses can match the speed of Immersive Horses. So let's go into the MCM. And Convenient Horses, and into the main file first. I will be leaving it set for bound key. If you are going to be playing this with a joypad, you're going to want to set it to multi-tap if that's the way you want to play it. And then you want to set up how fast you want your delay to be between taps. Description right at the bottom of the screen here. There is a combat override that if you enable it, multi-tap processing while in combat will maximise mount or dismount response time. You can also get to choose when you fast dismount, whether it's just in combat, whether you always fast dismount, or whether you never fast dismount. I'll leave it at combat and go back and reset this to bound key. Configuration powers, as I said back on the mod page, we don't need to worry about this as we're using the MCM menu rather than the settings that will be in the Magic Inventory for those people that don't have the Sky user interface. And this is the gameplay latency test that you might need if you're having some problems. Basically you just start it, exit this menu, you'll come up with a result up here telling you how fast your scripts are running. Ideally you want to be around the 50 milliseconds or under. If it's over 100 milliseconds you may have a problem, and I'm sure there is some help on the mod page. I'll leave it at stopped. Horse faction relations, as I said earlier, are set to friendly by default. You can change it to neutral. If you do this, they will act as they do in the normal vanilla game, so your horses can be attacked and will attack anything that's around you. I prefer to leave it friendly, just in case one of those bears that we run past before we go into a cave is hanging around and beats the 7 bells out of your horse. You'll notice this now says do not update. If we change this, it will automatically update all factions. I'll leave it at friendly for the time being. Do we want the follow, toggle and whistle animations? Yes we do. Do we want the mounted combat auto correction? Yes we do. That way we don't have the camera floating around everywhere. We can force it to reset by using whatever button we set up to have the follow. Over here, look. Disable games horse tracking. No, I want to leave it on. Not that I will be fast travelling, which is one of the reasons why I use horses. It's not quite as fast as fast travel, but you do get to see a whole lot more. I mean, where do you think Ilya came from? I would never have found her if I wasn't walking. But any other mod that I may install that wants to track my horses may not work if we disable the tracking. and we have the horse whistle quest override. Now I did buy a horn, and I will use it at some point during this video, but I will overwrite that quest as well, so I can do both the whistle and the horn just to show you how they work. I'm going to consolidate the talk, loot and harvest into one. I'm going to set the key for doing all that to that key there. My fastest mount key, well, you can't sneak on a horse, so it makes sense to have that as my sneak key. The horse inventory is usually set there, and the horse follow toggle key is set there. Under horses, horse inventory recover, I'm going to leave it at do not recover for the time being, and I'm also going to leave the inventory access mode at travel. By doing this, if you stable your horse outside the town where you are, so if you have Breeze Home in Whiterun, you leave your horse at Whiterun stables or just outside Whiterun gates, you go into your house or to a trader in Whiterun, and you suddenly realise that you've left the ebony war axe you wanted to sell or wanted to put away on your horse. What you can do using Convenient Horses is press the inventory key for your horse, which is right control that I just set up. I will then instantly travel to my horse, go straight into the inventory, and will be able to pick anything I want out of the inventory, and then the moment I leave the horse inventory I will travel back to wherever I was. Or you can open up the MCM menu, change this to recover, which as you see is now queued, and you will take absolutely everything that is in your horse's inventory back with you when you exit this menu. Very handy if your horse is full of all the stuff you've picked up in 3 or 4 dungeons and you suddenly want to put it away in your house for sorting, or if you want to sell it. So I'll leave it on do not recover. I'm also going to leave the weight limit at 0, that way it's unlimited. I want my horse, even though it is the mighty Shadowmere, to be cowardly, and I'm going to leave the horse follow unchecked for the time being. If we check this and leave everything it is, the horse will follow us in smart mode, so if we start sneaking it will stop, and it will follow at a distance of approximately 45 feet in game. As I said, I'm going to leave that unchecked. We can change the equipment the horse has, so it comes with the original equipment that's on it. You can also have just the Dark Brotherhood saddle, but I believe it's the same one we have. And I don't think there's anything else in here that I'd want to give to Shadowmere. I think he looks perfectly fine with his original equipment. It's here I'm going to have a look at stuff. The health bonus doesn't really affect him because he's not going to be in combat anyway. The stamina bonus is the important one. Now, Immersive Horses has increased the horse stamina from 100 to 500. Let's see how much we can take it up to here. We can take it up to 1000. So let's take it up to 500, the same as Immersive Horses. There we go. And the speed bonus, well, the default is 600 and Immersive Horses takes it up to 800. So that's an improvement of 1/3. So if I take it up by 33%, that should match the speed that we're going to get from Immersive Horses and the distance we can gallop. Under protection mode you have 3 options. The first is no protection, that means that your horse can actually die. You have essential, that means that they can't die but they will go down to low health and you can heal them. Or there is invulnerable, which is basically God mode for your horse. It never runs out of health and it never runs out of stamina. I'm going to leave it on no protection for the time being, because they're cowardly anyway, they shouldn't get involved in combat. If we do use the horse call settings, they will be called in the Delta Formation, which we'll have a look at in a second. And if we do use horse call, we can set the screen to fade. We'll go screen, fade to black, horses beam in, you mount up, screen fades back up, and away you go. So now under followers, do we want followers to have horses? Well yes, that's one of the whole reasons why we're using this mod. We don't want them to prefer riding, I want them to walk when I do. I don't want my followers to auto retaliate. If I ride past somebody I don't want to fight or want to break off from combat and ride away, I want them to do the same. I want to leave combat escape as it is, so that means if I'm in a fight and mount up onto my horse and ride away, they'll do exactly the same thing. I want to leave deferred dismount as it is. I want them to get off their horses when I do, rather than within a 30-foot radius or within 60 seconds of me getting off. I'm going to leave horse recall unchecked. I want the horses to be left in the world when I get off them, rather than being teleported out of existence. I want them to have mounted combat. I'll leave it at 100%. Now we get to pick the skin for the horse. You can leave it per follower if you're going to have more than one. I'm only having Ilya, so I'm going to pick. I'll set it to global, and then I can click random and pick a horse. So what she got? I've got a black horse. Let's give her our Palomino. And then under equipment, let's go global again and set it to... I don't know, what do you think is going to go nicely with her? There is a knight saddle. I know she's wearing armour like a knight, but she's more of a mage, isn't she, really? Is a mage. These are proper armours. I don't think that's right that her horse has armour and mine doesn't. So let's go back to saddles. I'll give her a traveller saddle. That way she looks like she's with us a bit more. Dynamic speed, I'm going to check it. They should be able to keep up with it if I do that. Auto loop, I'm going to leave it in basic mode for the time being, and horse charge I will leave as it is. That does mean that when we charge past things at gallop, we do have a chance of doing some damage. Right, so that's all of those done. Right, so what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to go up the road a little bit, just to where my horses can't see me. Right, so Inigo and Ilya are with me, but my horses can't be seen from here. And let's use the horse horn just to call them in for once. So I'm going to go into magic, down to horse horn, which is that one, horse call. Exit this, and then you use this the same way you would a shout. As you see, the horses beam in and we instantly mount up. Although Inigo doesn't, he'll climb on in a minute. Once again, I'm going to get off here and we'll walk back down to Shorestone and do the same from there. So if you haven't used the cheat to get the whistle and you've gone around the best part of Skyrim whistling at people, you'll eventually come to having this in your magic inventory, the horse whistle. Once again, you use it the same as a shout, and that will call your horses from a distance. They should come walking into frame any second. Here we go. Coming from the right direction for a change, that's nice. I think that's a bit more game friendly. It does however mean that Ilya's horse will still beam in when I start riding. There you go.
I'm right behind you.
Right, so let's see what these improvements to the horse stamina and the horse speed have done in game. So we're setting off from Shorestone. Let's see how far down the map we can get before we run out of stamina.
Nice, strong, honest name, and not too flashy.
Are you naming your horse, Inigo? Sorry, I missed that. I'll catch it next time. There will be a next time. We've got to come back and do this again in a couple of minutes, guy. Once again, we're going to set off from Shorestone and see how far we can get down the map. I will have to drop out of gallop for sharp corners, but as I'll be doing it the same on both mods, it shouldn't make that much of a difference. So off we go. It does feel a little bit quicker than the normal. I will try and speed this up, guys, so it may look a bit comedy, but it will probably pass the time a little bit quicker. Right, so I think that's it. I think we've just dropped out of gallop. Let's have a look, see how far we've come. So that's all the way from Shorestone. Now I know from vanilla, if you charge from Shorestone on a gallop, you only get to this bend here, and then you drop out. So that is quite a distance more. We'll have to see how that compares to Immersive Horses as well. But I think what we should do is go and pick up Kate from Riverwood. Where's Inigo? Yeah, we'll go pick up Kate from Riverwood, get her horse up as well, go along to Whiterun, go to my home, see if I can pick some things up and drop them in my horse or vice versa, and just show you how that works as well. So we'll do that, and I'll see you guys back at Whiterun. Right, so I'm in Bree's home, and I've just decided that I want to get some of the stuff that's on my horse, and that's down at the stables just outside Whiterun. So I'm going to press my horse inventory, and I travel out to my horse. I have put a whole lot of stuff on my horse to carry for me. Now I can just pick up the bits and pieces that I want, or I can go into the MCM menu, go to mod configuration, Convinient Horses, and I want to recover.
Long life to you, Thane.
I have now got everything that was on my horse in my inventory. Yep, everything that was in my horse is now in my inventory without even leaving my home. Handy if you're going to be over encumbered. Bit of a dull morning. Right, so I'll just go here, little shortcut down. Now as long as my horse can see me, which Shadow Mia can, I believe I should be able to do this from this distance. And that is, I want him to follow me. He hasn't been set to follow me, so if I use my key that does it, yep, Shadow Mia will now follow. So him and Ilya's horse will come and meet us. Well, fairly close. We can go down and pick them up. And now, of course, Selene beams her own horse in, and it has to be said, it looks as daft as she sounds. But hey, well, we can't have everything. Right. Only thing left to do now is to see if we can talk to people from horseback. And we have some traders here, so without getting off my horse, can I activate this trader?
The wind
Yes, I can.
They're cold in this place.
I'm curious about your homeland.
A distant land called Elsewhere, bordered on the north by Cyrodiil, and the south by the glistening blue waters of the sea. Elsewhere is an arid land of deserts and rocky canyons, where the sun shines warmly, always. They're a city so ancient, the sands have swallowed them whole. But now I will say no more, for I miss my home greatly.
Right, so I think we've seen most of what Convenient Horses can do.
Hey, Steed.
Only thing we can do now is have a look at Immersive Horses too. So I'll just go uninstall this and reinstall this, and I will see you guys back down at Riften. We're back down at Riften. Excuse me, where are you going, Shadowmere? Come here. Right, so I've just activated him, and this menu comes up. Not the ideal place to be behind a horse. I'm just going to select ride from here for now. I know we can reset this in the MCM menu when it's in, so I'll just ride for the time being. Shadowmere is my permanent steed now. Good. Will this save recognise that I bought that horse up there? I hope so.
am in your way. I am sorry.
And once again, I've activated him, so I'm going to have to dismount this time. And is this recognised as my horse? It is, yes. I can still ride this horse as well. So let's just move it out a bit.
You found the right place.
Right, so Griselda always wants to go back to where she's from until I give her to Inigo, which I'll do now. Inigo, mind if I ask you
I
something?
am all ears.
I want to give you a horse. Yes, take
That
my Riften
delightful
horse.
dappled horse with a song in his heart and fire in his belly? What
Yes, that
a
one.
gift. Thank you.
Okay, not a problem. Right, so you've got your
My
horse
very
back.
own steed. Wow.
I'm sorry, Ilya, but you don't get a horse this time. I do apologise. But I do see a point in installing a mod just for you to ride a horse for this demo, when in my playthrough none of my followers will need it. Don't look at me like that, it's not my fault. While we're waiting for the MCM to kick in, let's go out to Shawstone and get ready for our run downwards from there. ride again. Let's have a look at this sprint. Actually, I think this is quite a bit faster than when we reset it on Immersive Horses. I may have to increase that speed if I keep it, because I do like the speed of this one. Typical, it's just about to rain. What I'll do is I will get off the horse just up here. I will wander back down to Shorestone and call the horses in again. But first I will clear the skies. Right, so my MCM menu is just loaded in, and my horse is just up the road over there, just over the horizon. I can't see it from here, so I'm going to have to call it in when I want it. Let's go into the menu and get things set up. So mod configuration, Immersive Horses. The first things I want to do are set up what the horse does when I'm stood next to it and try to activate it. So if I'm stood next to it, I want to ride. If I'm sneaking next to it, I want to open the inventory, and if I am on the horse, I want to get off. That makes sense? As with Convenient Horses, we get the option to protect our horses. This time we're going to get one option. It's either it can be killed or it can only be killed by me, so basically making it essential like any other character in game. We have the mounted spellcasting, that's fine. Horses ignore combat, that makes sense. Last horse fast travel, so if we do fast travel, the last horse we used will be the one that transports with us. Horses wait on dismount, otherwise they will follow you. As we said on the mod page, you can now own stolen horses. If you want it so that it acts like vanilla, so you can never actually own a stolen horse, check this box here. The horse status messages I'm quite happy with, because it says, you know, this is now your main steed, or your horse is waiting for you. Loot courses while mounted. Well, that acts the same as talking to that trader that we just did in Convenient Horses, or talking to guards, or anything else, so that's fine, I can leave that checked. Allow horses in cities. I don't believe that should be allowed. I think the stables are outside main cities for the simple reason that they know best how to look after your horse, so you leave them there. Also, they don't charge you rent for doing it, so you might as well use their free services. Add the horse powers to the player. Those are the whistle commands, which is fine, and the horse menu. Fast dismount with a weapon drawn. That sounds like a good idea. I don't want to disable the trample or the kick effect. And I don't have to come up with a debug menu. I think the horses are working okay at the moment. The horse menu key I'm going to set there. The whistle key I will set there. Wait and follow, the exact same as if I was using Convenient Horses. Same with the inventory. Don't really need to know the statuses at the moment, or the dismiss key. Toggle the trot key, well, it should be on shift or locked with caps lock, so I can leave that. Talk or search key, I will use that one. Horse bash, we'll use that. Horse pivot left and horse pivot right are the normal A and D, so I don't have to do those. Normal dismount key is the same one I've just set up. Fast dismount left and fast dismount right I'm not going to bother with. I'll just go rear fast mount and I'll use the sneak key again. And I'm not going to be using the herd options, so that's that for this one. Now, I don't think I can use the long distance inventory key, can I? So let's try that. No, shadow mirror is too far away. So if you wanted to use the same technique where you go back to your horse and pick up the inventory, or have the inventory transferred to you by using the MCM menu, doesn't seem to work with the Immersive Horses, which is a shame because it's one of the things that I quite like about Convenient Horses. Let's see the horse whistle, which I think was set to there, wasn't it? There's no animation for this one, but the horse should be coming from up there, I think. Where is he? Shadow me, where are you? Now, I left you up there. Where are you now? You're behind me, typical. So that does work, although I didn't see him come in. Right, so let's see how far the stamina takes us from here without running these guys over. Whoops, sorry chicken. Yeah, this charge does feel a whole lot faster than the Convenient Horses one. It does swing wide around corners as well. It also goes round corners faster. Right, so that's how far we got on a single charge with Immersive Horses. Let's have a look at the map. Now, didn't we stop around here with Convenient Horses? Now I know that the stamina and the gallop speed can be increased in Convenient Horses, but that's quite impressive for this mod from the ground up. Let's have a look and see if we can pick and loot things as we go by using this mod as well. So now I know from past experience with Convenient Horses that the thistle I've just ridden over, if I was holding down the pickup key, would have picked it up, and this didn't. Once again through the thistles. Stop on him. No, that's Inigo. I don't want to talk to Inigo right now.
What is on
Nope,
your
it's just
mind?
picking up the speech. It isn't picking up the thistles, which is another shame.
I think I will call my new steed Artax. It is a nice, strong.
You're calling it
honest
Artax?
name,
Okay.
And not too flashy. It suits him.
Right then, guys. I think I'm going to leave this one here. I know there is a whole lot more to these mods than I've just shown you, but this was a quick comparison for myself to see which one is going to be in my load order from now on. Whether it was worth dropping Convenient Horses in favour of Immersive Horses. I think given the fact I can tweak Convenient Horses and it has got the things like the able to access the horse inventory from while inside a town and the ability to herd animals. Oop, got a cat. Get out of here.
You have.
Nice one, Inigo. Now, where was I? Ah yes, I was talking to you guys, wasn't I? I can't remember what I was saying. So, Convenient Horses just has the edge for me at the moment. Being able to pick up loot from while I'm inside a town from my horse, being able to pick up flowers as I run by, and the fact I don't have to have another mod installed to let vanilla followers have a horse just wins me over at the moment. I do like Immersive Horses. I think that the faster gallop and everything else that it's got in it at default is incredible. I do like the way they've changed horses so that they are different types, and I know we didn't mention the textures, but they are very pretty. But we can overcome that by downloading the 2K texture files from the Nexus site. I'll put a link down below to those if I remember. So with those conclusions, I think I've taken up enough of your time. If this has helped, give me a like, write us a comment, or maybe even subscribe. A big thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.